Tim Ream, age 38, a former teammate of Anthony Robinson, who he's just given the ball to.
Yeah, Tim Ream at 38 years old. Fulham's supporters will know him well, spending some 9 years in the Premier League with Fulham. Steady competitor, solid defender, and really for Pochettino, his go-to defender in centre-back position.
Robinson into the back of Dodi Lukebakio. Lukebakio starting his first World Cup game today, 2 substitute appearances before this one. 4 goals in his last 5 caps, a real reward for patience and hard work after a serious injury in qualifying. Fractured his ankle in November. Courtois towards the Ketelara. Now it's Freeman. Dest. Nicely away. Freeman from Trossard, the ball taken by Tielemans. The force applied by Onana, who looks for Lukebakio. Waiting for the arrival of Castagna alongside him. And he uses him here. This is promising for Belgium! And Tielemans, when the chance presented itself, couldn't find the finish.
What an opportunity for Belgium. Good build-up and play, finding the wide space that we talked about they're going to be looking for, and a good ball in the box. Really an incredibly poor finish, one that you should at least get on target.
Now, he was the go-to goal scorer really in the last game, albeit Romelu Lukaku kick-started the comeback. Tielemans it was who grabbed 2 of the Belgian goals. Maybe that felt so simple a finish that concentration just wavered a little. Easily done in a furious atmosphere like this. Mind you, it's fair to say in these World Cup finals we haven't really had quiet days at the office.
No, thankfully it's been absolutely electric. A lot of late goals, more than we've ever seen in a World Cup.
Trossard trying to find a way through. Freeman it is who clears. The USA didn't really take charge, and Belgium did! To Ketelara! The path to the quarterfinals opens up for Belgium! The USA briefly took their eyes off the prize. Nicola Raska made the ball his and made the chance for the Ketelara.
It was sloppy from the US, really sloppy defensively, didn't clear their lines, and Belgium seemed to be on the front foot, a little bit more energy off the gates, right off the opening whistle. And de Ketelara, when you look at this man, he's had some criticism. If anything, Belgium's missing a prolific goal scorer when Lukaku's not on the pitch. So this is going to do him a lot of good, because this is obviously a massive goal for him. 34 appearances for Belgium. That is his 7th goal, and none more important than that. 1-0, Belgium.
Well, he couldn't quite believe he had the space and the time to simply tap it in. The freedom of the 6-yard box to give Belgium an early and potentially pivotal lead.
What a difference between this and the last match, as far as their starting. And even if you look at the game on March 28th when they played in a friendly against the United States, Belgium won 5-2. And really, it was the second half that kick-started them on. So, good start for Belgium, what they wanted. Hopefully they find their form around at 16.
It is the fastest goal that Belgium have scored at this World Cup, the earliest the USA have conceded as well.
So they'll be looking from Ketelara to hold up that ball, wait for some support.
FIFA President Gianni Infantino amongst those taking in the early drama here. Searching ball towards Trossard, dealt with by Richards. Belgium into their stride in these early moments. The USA haven't yet truly got their rhythm. Courtois has been busy with the feet, but untested so far with the hands.
Yeah, the United States need to get a hold of the ball and retain some possession for a length of time, because at the moment it's being dictated by Belgium.
Won back by Freeman, nicely played between Dest and McKennie and Tyler Adams as well. Garcia has admitted before the tournament that this is far from the strongest Belgian squad ever. He says that in 2018 or 2022 Belgium were built to win the World Cup. They were the favourites and it didn't work out. Certainly not that well fancied at the start of this tournament, but momentum is building.
We usually find in World Cups they don't always have to play pretty, but you certainly have to find the results and get yourself through, and that's what Belgium have done. And they might feel like they're playing on with house money here a little bit, with the result against Senegal not looking likely.
Chris Richards back on his feet. He's underneath that one, battling with De Ketelaere. Strong running from Belgium here. De Ketelaere. Amid US cries for offside. Onana. Three waiting in the middle here. Tielemans is one of them. Trossard as well, looking up to pick up the pieces here. Juggled away by Pulisic temporarily. Trossard in there. Very nearly making something out of nothing.
The United States playing very narrow and really allowing a lot of space in the wide positions for Belgium to just throw it into, get some good crosses into the box. Overloading as well has been absolutely buzzing as the Belgium side at the moment.
Trossard sets his sights. Matt Fries was always comfortable that that was rising high.
There's another look at the space that De Ketelaere gets behind the defense. Garcia obviously delighted with the start. USA not so much.
Those who are down at the moment must remember there is a fair old way to go, particularly when you consider that Belgium were 2-0 down with 5 minutes to play here a few days ago. Still managed to squeak through against Senegal. There goes Weston McKennie, but all asking a little too much.
Lari
group games in this tournament. 7 minutes against Paraguay, 11 minutes against Australia, 3 minutes against Turkey. They've been put in the shade, really, in the opening quarter of an hour here by a Belgian side who've been at it from the off.
It's so important for them as well to quiet this crowd down, which they've absolutely done. They've silenced them. They're stunned here in Seattle.
Who was pivotal to that opening goal. Just dropping in between those two Belgian centre-halves to give his side a platform from which to build. Offside against De Ketelaere. So frustrated with the way his side have started. He's aiming to become the first coach of the USA since Bruce Arena in 2002 to lead the United States men's team into the World Cup quarter-finals. Pulisic, who's seen very little of the ball. Incidentally, it makes sense that the player with the fewest touches in these opening 16 minutes is United States centre forward, following Balogun, because the ball hasn't really got at that end of the field too much, just 2 touches so far.
Oh, the press by Belgium has been excellent. They're willing to use triggers when they usually go to the full-back and close in the space, and they've done that brilliantly well so far.
This is a worry for Amadou Onana and for Belgium. We've seen some nasty injuries at this tournament. We've also seen some slightly bizarre ones. The injury to Jordan Henderson of England yesterday, for example, amid celebrations. Of Jordan, just making sure that amid the treatment here for Amadou Onana, nobody takes it upon themselves to go and take on instructions from those on the sidelines.
Yeah, they're trying, but it doesn't seem to be all that effective. The only difference is Pochettino's not in their ear, but he's about 5 yards away. This is really a shame for Onana if he can't shake this off.
Just horrible watching someone's knee underneath them like that. Hopefully he's okay to carry on, but he doesn't look in a good way.
Yeah, you're almost trying to tell yourself that you're okay because you just desperately don't want to come off the pitch, but it doesn't look at all comfortable.
This today his 4th appearance at these finals, his 2nd start. Garcia has at times in his tenure been quite fluid with his changes, with his formations. Injuries have played a part in that. I think the game is up for Amadou Onana. Certainly seems that way. Miserable way for his evening to end. Hans van Aken, the obvious replacement. Indeed, it was Onana who replaced van Aken in the starting lineup. And now Belgium down to 10, but on the front foot. Way by McKenna. And it goes towards Raskan, who made himself free. Adams clearing. Mekele, and then eventually Ngoy back to Courtois. Mekele stayed down after that header. And Belgium have to plug the gap at the back. He's the only player in the squads today, Brandon Mekele, who is at risk of suspension should he pick up a yellow card today. Cards will be wiped after the end of the round of 16.
Unlike Onana's injury, the collision between the 2 Belgian players colliding, going down. I'm sure he'll shake that off or getting the wind knocked out of him.
Marking on for Onana. The yellow cards reset after the group stage and the quarter-finals. And now Mekele back on his feet. The United States looking to take the game to their opponents here. Lukebakio winning it back here and sliding away from challenges. He's gained a lot of ground here, tracked by Tyler Adams, who he eventually knocks over.
Great run, shows you what he could do, why he's in the starting lineup. on the right-hand side, but this time trying his luck down the left, but obviously that is a pretty obvious foul. You watch Onana leave the pitch and head toward the dressing room.
He's played his part in the opening 20 minutes or so in which Belgium has prospered. Here's Richards. Oh, he had it and he lost it, and he was relieved to retrieve it.
That was sloppy for Richards, very fortunate. It's a lively Lara this game. We haven't seen him this lively in probably this World Cup so far around. It's important for him to be involved, and he certainly has, and obviously most importantly getting the goal for Belgium.
Forward by Reed. Pulisic. Robinson ahead of him, looking to try and slide it through to those in front. Freeman now. Serginho Dest. Looking to build sustained pressure here. The United States, but it's the way up towards Gigabyte.
Belgium doing such a good job. We're cutting off the lanes to the wide players. They're going to cause you trouble. Unlike for Belgium down the other end, the Americans are playing narrow and lots of crosses coming into the box. That needs to be better. They have to do better to cut out crosses.
Bala going to Dest, who's wrestling with the Kuiper. The United States want a free kick that actually goes against them. And before that is taken, drinks will be taken. The hydration break here in Seattle, with the Belgians leading by a goal to nil. A beautiful day in Seattle, and it's certainly going Belgium's way. So far, they've lost the early stages here.
They really have, and it's somewhat surprising from the American standpoint. Pochettino's going to have a word, but he needs to change things a little bit defensively, because they're just not putting pressure on the wide players, and the crosses are coming in way too easily. And to be able to pick out good, strong players that can hurt you, the weapons are there, and they just really haven't done a good enough job closing down and pressing Belgium, unlike Belgium, who have done an excellent job in pressing the Americans and leaving the dangerous players like Pulisic, Tielemans, McKennie really have had very little on the ball so far, and that needs to improve. This hydration break is coming at a good time for the Americans as we have a look at Lara's opening goal of this match, and a very important one.
You simply don't expect to get as easy a finish as that at a World Cup finals, do you?
No, you really don't. They just have not marked up. They haven't been cursing the ball, slowing, clearing the ball, which has really been terrible from the United States. I've got to say, before the World Cup started, there was times when I thought that Pochettino, and I think the American football fans were thinking that he was running out of ideas with this squad, but they've really surprised in some way in this World Cup how strong they've been coming out of the gate. So that great result against Paraguay, Australia, then obviously the Turkey match was a dead rubber match, but then against Bosnia, solid performance there. The sending off as well, they dug in deep and got the result that they deserved. But this is a real test, their first real big test in this World Cup against Belgium.
Mauricio Pochettino was appointed USA head coach in September 2024. It was early in 2025. He was under a bit of pressure. The USA lost to Canada, to Panama, and were unconvincing in slender victories over Haiti and Guatemala. But they have momentum, certainly in this tournament now. But in this game, so far it has been Belgium's day. It will be Thibaut Courtois to restart us here. Robinson's header for Balogun. Mekele, who's shaken off that knock from a few moments ago, to carry on. Trossard. Back for De Kuyper. For Nicolas Raskin. One of the mainstays in qualification, and a key part of the Rangers plan in Scotland this season. Pulisic tried to escape from Tielemans. Robinson closed down by his club teammate Timothy Castagne. Another English Premier League player here, Chris Richards. Alex Freeman, who's been impressing in Spain with Villarreal. Slightest of touches from Van Aken. Trossard. Goy. Back in the side after his sending off against Iraq in match day 2. And away by Courtois. Ream and De Ketelaere together. Lukebakio winning the throw. And Eddie Vedder is here today, the lead singer and guitarist from the band Pearl Jam. It's not just all about football, there's music inspiration sprinkled around the place too.
Local legend.
It's a free kick for the United States. Weston McKennie taken down.
They've allowed very little space, Belgium, and the dangerous players, as I talked about, McKennie not allowed to turn on the ball. The balance of Belgium certainly seems to be a lot better than the Americans at the moment, but things could change, and very, very quickly, as we've seen in World Cups with a goal.
We know about the danger of Weston McKennie, of course, from that friendly a few months ago. Scored in that game, his first goal for 3 years for his country. That's a foul in an interesting position. Balogun it was, taken down.
One of the very few occasions where he's actually been able to get on the ball, and again, very close marking. The referee sees that as a foul, as he does well to hold on to it, draw the pressure, draw the contact. Puts the Americans in a very, very dangerous position here that Josie Altidore would love to be on the end of.
Certainly would. 42 international goals for the USA. Only 2 men have scored more. Clint Dempsey and Landon Donovan. Balogun playing cheerleader here, trying to get the crowd back into the game. Now, let's not forget the ability that the Americans possess from here, in particular Malik Tillman, who scored a beauty last time out against Bosnia and Herzegovina. Robinson is there, but it will be Tillman to hit it. Oh! That was a strike that just moved all over the place. And the goal is celebrated right round this place. Belgium have had all the play. They've bossed the game, but they've lost their lead.
Like I said, a game could turn on a goal. And it's just letting up this place. Seattle Stadium's on fire. What a massive deflection it was. Courtois in net has absolutely no chance as the ball jumps, comes off the head of the Belgian player. Who was that?
Van Aken, wasn't it?
Van Aken, yes it was. And there's nothing a goalkeeper could do about that. But getting the ball on target's always important, and that has changed the match drastically for the US.
Well, the deflection certainly made a difference. It completely wrong-footed to Thibaut Courtois. But as the saying goes, you can't win the lottery without buying a ticket. And Malik Tillman is pretty reliable from that kind of range. A one-sided game now has parity. Ketelara and Tielemans, whose facial expression as the ball flicked off Van Aken said it all there for Belgium. Trossard. Oh, that could be a tempting ball in. It's to Ketelara. Belgium have their lead back. United States celebrations were in full swing before Belgium gate-crashed their moment.
We were wondering whether Belgium would be stung by that. Well, quite clearly that's not the case. Great work from the wide position. Really brilliantly done by Trossard, putting an inviting ball into the edge of into the area in the 6-yard box. The corridor of uncertainty. Ketelara has done brilliantly well to be on top of Tim Ream and get his head to it. And make it 2-1 Belgium. This is massive for them. And what a reaction after giving up the goal just a little while ago. Pochettino doesn't like the look of that.
Well, there is a well-worn cliche about being vulnerable when you've just scored. And it reared its head there for the United States of America.
This is a performance that they needed from that man right there on the screen. He hasn't, in my opinion, done enough in this World Cup until now and got involved. He certainly has been. Not just the goals, but also in other ways, holding the ball up. He's been outstanding.
Here goes Freeman. And it's ushered clear by De Kuyper. A mere 116 seconds between the equaliser and Belgium grabbing their lead back. And a spiky challenge there, not appreciated by Belgium, punished by the referee.
I don't think Weston McKennie can complain too much about that. Coming in late, really late.
Well, they're certainly having to dig in that midfield area to try and wrestle some control back. Control which he felt perhaps they had grabbed momentarily. De Ketelara, incidentally, now 6 goals in his last 9 caps, having scored just 2 in his first 25. Goal from Malik Tillman, coming from the first attempt, and indeed only attempt, from the USA.
They've offered very little, to be fair. Except for a massively deflected set piece. Belgium still on the front foot, putting them under all sorts of pressure and very little time and space to maneuver the United States. They have to be much quicker in their process.
Towards Balagoon, met by Ngoy.
Belgium feel that if they could put the defense and the goalkeeper under enough pressure, just kicking long balls to the center of the park, that they're going to be able to deal with that quite comfortably, and that has been the case so far.
Kuiper's header to Ketelara would have been well and truly offside. Incidentally, he's scored just his second double for his country. The other one coming in a 7-0 win in World Cup qualifying in November against Liechtenstein. That game indeed sealed qualification for Belgium. Indeed, Kevin De Bruyne was injured. He missed that game. He actually celebrated with the team leading the celebrations on crutches. He waits on the bench for now. Courtois, Mechelen, and again from De Kuiper. Pressure applied by McKennie. Of course, will buzz around in his typical way, but has to be a little careful, having picked up that yellow card. Look back here, back for Tielemans. Away off Tyler Adams. And there's plenty of talent on the field and a fair bit off it as well. Kevin De Bruyne waiting to get involved as the game develops. Top scorer in qualifying. Goes towards Raskin. A deft little touch, well watched by Matt Fries. Counter-attack very quickly quelled. Belgium start again with Mechelen and Goy.
Belgium in possession seem to have all the space and time, very comfortable to play around the Americans. When the Americans have the ball, they have no time. They've really been very close in proximity to the players. Certainly in the mid-block has been working brilliantly well for Belgium so far. Cutting out those little lines into Pulisic hasn't really happened. Not got the ball into Belgium very often. Only the once that they won the free kick for the opening goal for the Americans. Well, it for the Americans.
Approaching the final 5 minutes of the half. Balogun after this one with Goy, who stuck to his task. Freeman. Moved on by Tillman. Robinson for Pulisic. Rolls away from Tyler Adams.
Belgium, once they win the ball, they just fan out, creating lots of opportunities and space for themselves, and a goalkeeper and Courtois that's incredibly comfortable with the ball at his feet for a big man. He's still one of the very best in the world.
Here's Castagne. Tielemans. Raskin. Moved on by Mekele for Trossard. Seattle trying to summon the spirit here. They'll just get a little more out of their sides before the break.
Van Aken obviously coming on for the injured Onana, but he's been lively in himself. And here's a save. Freeze in net. Comfortable, saw it all the way, but a decent touch at the near post.
Plenty of tactical conversations going on in the crowd, it would seem. There'll be some more in the dressing rooms in a few minutes' time. Belgium looking to extend the lead before we get to half-time. The Kuipers ball in, and a free header. Lukebakio with an opportunity wasted, and a golden one at that.
Well, they've had a couple really good looks that they haven't been able to hit the target on, which you would expect much better from, and that is one of them. That's a free header, center of goal, has to get that on target. And if he does, it would be trouble. Matt Freese.
Robinson. Pulisic trying to poke it towards him again. Trying to get the magic going on that side, those two. They normally link up so well. Robinson. McKennie. Back for Ream. Adams for Richards. Dest trying the give and go. Freeman instead looks for McKennie, who tried to leave it for Balogun. An up and down affair thus far.
Well, we expected goals, there's certainly opportunities, and we haven't been disappointed from that standpoint. It's fantastic. We would expect more from what we've seen.
Dest away from Trossard, and the ball just a little away from Balogun. It's all much more promising from the United States without really hurting Belgium. They are making things happen, but the half-time whistle isn't too far away. Some squabbling to sort out. Tillman with the throw. Plenty rising for it. Underneath it all in the end was Balogun. The final touch apparently off a Belgian defender.
Yeah, it was dangerous and flicked on into a dangerous position. Balogun's very well marked up from 6 yards out. Couldn't quite get a boot on it, but it was close. America's looking to equalize here before halftime, but really stirred things up in Seattle.
Now, interestingly here, it was going to be a corner, but the VAR, of course, has the power here to review corners. And if there isn't a touch off a Belgian player, it can be turned into a goal kick, which indeed it has been.
And that is a rule that I'm in favor of. I think it's a great one to pull in, too, because if you don't want a goal coming from it would be a goal kick. So, and it happens quickly. The review's done very, very well and fast, and it doesn't affect the flow of the match.
In goes Castagne. A touch back from Van Aken. Trossard trying to get underneath this one, but Freeman makes it his. inching their way up the touchline here. De Kuyper, Ketelaere, Van Aken taking over. Raska. Oh, he somehow managed to keep that in, has he? No, not quite. Did his level best to juggle it the right side of the line. Here come the United States of America with Dest. Free to look at in the middle, but he's not allowed a way through by Maxime de Kuyper. Van Aken waiting for the runner. Here is Todi Lukavakio. All over with no takers in the middle. So Trossard will rekindle the attack and indeed win a corner. This time it's the Americans who say they didn't touch it.
At times, it's just way too easy for Belgium to get balls into the box. At least Freeman is tight with Trossard. Still.
Warner taking quickly look at Bacchio with the ball across the area. Shot or across, only he will truly know.
Well, if you're going to miss one, you want to miss it across the face of the goal, just in case somebody gets on the end of it, of course. They've had some decent looks at goal. 2 goals, could have had 3 or 4.
Foul by Raskin amid a frantic Belgian press, which the United States have struggled to shake off in this first half. Attempts for Belgium in this first half, just the 2 for the United States. Here goes Balogun. And Courtois came to meet him. A couple of added minutes remain at the end of this first half. Richards, Balogun, McKennie, not quite for Dest. Lukavakio for Van Aken. Raskin now. Too much for Trossard. Half-time team talks fast approaching now. Richards for Freeman. Tillman managing to squeeze past a couple. Beautifully done. Balogun wants it, and he gets it. And then Goy tracked his run at the cost of a corner.
Nice passage of play. Beautifully done here. Puts it through his legs. Creates a bit of space. Balogun makes a good run in the box, but was well marked. Better from the United States. And when they get at Belgium with some pace, they can create some opportunities, but it's just been way too pedestrian at times for the United States.
Pulisic to take. Courtois saw it all the way. And that is the final touch of a fast and furious first half. The tale of the two number 17s. Charles de Ketelaere scoring twice for Belgium. Malik Tillman responding with a deflected free kick for the United States. It has been a first 45 minutes bossed by the European side, but the Americans are well and truly in it at the break. United States of America 1, Belgium 2.
Ini yang saya sukai, berekspresi, membawa pesan yang positif. Kalau panas dalam, bantu redakan dengan yang ada badannya.
Satu menjadi hasil sementara di Atlanta Stadium. Maksud kami di Stadion Seattle yang menjadi Belgia saat ini di jalani babak pertama unggul dengan hasil 2-1 sementara di 45 menit babak yang pertama. Tuan rumah saat ini tertinggal, Bung Gita. Amerika hanya menciptakan satu gol tunggal dari Tielemans di 31 menit tadi.
Ya, kalau kita lihat keseluruhan pertandingan memang milik dari Belgia sejak awal ya. Inisiatif diambil langsung oleh Belgia. Tekanan mereka, Amerika Serikat bahkan tidak lepas dari tekanan selama 15 menit pertama. Walaupun Belgia.
Well, I think it's very obvious that we didn't get into the game in the first 10 minutes. So we can see the first attack, the first shot, the first goal, the first set piece, everything. And little by little, we tried to match them. We scored, but the following action, so we can see it again. So it's something that we need to address now, increase our level out of possession, and to build the momentum from that situation. I think the good news is we're still on the game. It's 1 goal difference. I'm sure we are going to perform much better the second half and try to get at least the draw, and then to build the momentum to win the game.
Thank you.
Claude, est-ce qu'on peut dire que c'est la meilleure mi-temps de la Belgique depuis le début de la Coupe du Monde?
Je pense que le coach hier a réclamé de la constance. Et je pense que cette première mi-temps, c'est et de la constance et de la consistance. Donc on a été solide en première mi-temps, en tout cas pendant 50 minutes. Un match maintenant dure 95 voire 100 minutes. À nous de garder cette constance et cette consistance jusqu'à la fin du match.
11 tentatives à 2 ou 3 quand même, il y a une nette domination, mais le score est quand même serré. Hein.
Oui, il est serré parce que c'est une équipe qui joue chez elle, parce que c'est une équipe qui presse. On a pris le parti de jouer dans le dos de la défense parce que c'est une équipe qui joue très très haut. Pour l'instant, on les met en danger. On est sérieux défensivement. Encore une fois, est-ce qu'il y aura des changements ou pas de leur côté en deuxième mi-temps? Mais nous, à nous de rester tout aussi solides et tout aussi dangereux en tout cas.
Est-ce que vous pouvez nous donner des nouvelles d'Amadou, Onana?
Non, on n'en a pas du tout. Il est rentré au vestiaire, donc à voir deuxième mi-temps en fin de match.
Ya, baik, baru saja kita dengarkan sesi interview dari Amerika Serikat dan juga Belgia. Sebelum kita akan bahas apa yang perlu di-highlight dari interview tadi, kita akan lihat dulu bagaimana statistik yang terjadi di jalannya babak yang pertama, di mana kalau kita lihat dari angka-angka ini memang lebih didominasi oleh Belgia di 45 menit babak pertama tadi.
Ya, kalau kita lihat bahkan dari ball possession sendiri
ya.
48%, 45%, kemudian yang terasa sekali XG ya, ada 1,28 sampai 0,26 yang hanya dibukukan oleh Amerika Serikat. Bahkan tadi kalau kita lihat asisten pelatih Amerika Serikat itu mengakui bahwa 10 menit pertama mereka dalam tekanan, mereka ketinggalan, kemudian Belgia walaupun kehilangan satu pemain tetap bisa menguasai jalannya pertandingan.
Ya, sementara kita lihat ya head to head dari pemain masing-masing tim, di mana Tielemans ini adalah pencetak gol ya di jalannya babak pertama, Tielemans dan juga de Ketelaere. Ya. Bagaimana Bung Bes?
Ya, mengawali Serie A musim ini dengan 31 penampilan, hanya 3 gol, tetap dibawa ke Piala Dunia dan bermain sebagai starting 11, banyak yang mempertanyakan kualitasnya. Tapi hari ini dia membuktikan dengan 2 golnya.
Ya, 2 gol yang sudah dipersembahkan tentunya bagi Belgia di jalannya babak pertama. Kita lihat dulu alur pertandingan ya. Tadi memang banyak dari sisi flank ya, Bung Gita.
Sisi flank, tapi kemudian dari sisi tengah Belgia
Tengah
juga
juga
ya.
ada,
Sebenarnya. Sisi flank kiri itu tadi 2 gol datang dari sisi flank kiri. Kalau kita lihat gol kedua tadi kan bagaimana asis dari Leandro Trossard, gol pertama bagaimana kecepatan dari back kiri mereka yang Maxime de Kuyper untuk memberikan umpan yang matang yang diselesaikan oleh Richard Catelere.
Ya, dari Bung Bes sendiri apa yang perlu di-highlight dari interview tadi dari sisi Belgia?
Ya, dari sisi Belgia dia bicara bahasa Prancis yang intinya adalah harus menjaga konsistensi dan juga soliditas. Karena dia mengatakan lawan bermain baik, lawan melakukan pressing atas, tetapi mereka berhasil keluar dari tekanan dengan mengandalkan konsistensi juga soliditas di lini pertahanan. Jadi mengawali pertandingan ini mereka dengan sangat baik, dan untuk pergantian pemain dia belum tahu, dan untuk update soal Onana juga masih belum ada kabar.
Ya, sekarang kita lihat ya bagaimana highlight yang terjadi di jalannya babak yang pertama. Ada peluang cepat tadi yang didapatkan oleh Belgia ya, di awal babak pertama tadi, Bung Gita.
Ya itu tadi ya, 10 menit pertama benar-benar milik Belgia.
Yep.
Kemudian kalau kita lihat shot on target saja ya, 5 berbanding 1 sepanjang 45 menit. Walaupun mereka kehilangan Onana diganti oleh Hans van Aken tadi. Dan Hans van Aken juga yang bolanya deflect ke kepalanya dia tadi, sehingga gol balasan dari Amerika Serikat terjadi, tapi selebihnya semua penguasaan milik dari Belgia.
Ya, sementara ada satu peluang ya bagi Belgia sendiri, namun memang masih bisa diselamatkan oleh penjaga gawang Frese dari Amerika Serikat. Sementara kembali dari Belgia yang mencoba untuk mencari celah di sana, tapi memang terlihat di jalannya babak pertama Amerika ini bermain tidak tenang dan ada kesalahan yang dilakukan ya.
Ya, terlalu gampang untuk membiarkan umpan silang yang terjadi. Kita lihat tim terlalu rapat ke tengah tapi melupakan orang di sisi terluar, dan ketika ada crossing tidak adanya penjagaan kepada De Catelere akhirnya membuat mereka ketinggalan pada pertandingan kali ini.
Iya, satu gol yang tercipta tadi membuat justru semangat ya lebih lagi para pemain dari Belgia, Bung Gita.
Iya, kalau kita lihat tadi ini gol terjadi dari switch play yang dilakukan oleh Belgia dengan cepat ya. Ini masih bisa digagalkan Leandro Trossard, tapi the keeper cepat sekali ya. Datang dari sisi kiri untuk memberikan asis yang baik bagi De Catelere.
Iya, dan eksekusi yang sangat baik tadi di depan kotak penalti memberikan keunggulan tentunya bagi Belgia.
Kita lihat juga intensitas pertandingan cukup tinggi karena banyak sekali peluang antara kedua tim, juga end to end, satu menyerang yang satu gantian menyerang. Ini bisa dibilang pertandingan yang cukup menarik di pagi hari ini.
Iya, adanya Balogan
belum terlihat ya sampai sejauh ini. Balogun masih apa ya? Belum ada peluang pada dia. Kalau kita lihat ya satu peluang, satu shot on target yang dibukukan oleh Amerika datang dari tendangan bebas tadi.
Iya, impactnya belum sebesar itu tadi, Bung Bes.
Ya, height-nya yang besar tapi impact-nya belum, karena peluang satunya yang dia punya adalah tadi melambung ke atas, tapi sayang sekali gol adalah gol.
Ini kembali ya, gol kedua yang diciptakan oleh Belgia saya rasa ini sangat baik ya. Dari situasi bola mati yang dieksekusi sangat baik oleh tentunya
sebenarnya bolanya sebenarnya kalau bolanya tidak deflect ini akan bisa diatasi oleh Thibaut Courtois ya, sekelas Thibaut Courtois ini arah dia sebenarnya, tapi bolanya bergerak ke arah yang berlawanan karena terkena dari kepalanya Hans van Aken.
Ya, ini gol tunggal yang diciptakan oleh Tillman di jalannya babak pertama, Bung Bes.
Pelatih Amerika juga sempat menyebutkan tadi, asisten pelatih menyebutkan bahwa mereka memang sedang kalah di babak pertama, tetapi mereka belum finish karena masih ada babak kedua dan jarak gol hanya 1.
Sedikit demi sedikit ya dia bilang tadi ya, mereka menguasai, bisa mengimbangi, tapi kemudian memang ini tadi
kembali switch play
juga,
antisipasi crossing tidak bisa dilakukan dengan baik, dan kita mungkin jarang ya lihat gol kepala dari seorang De Catelere, tapi dia berhasil melakukannya dan menang duel dia.
Ya, tadi sudah sempat dikawal sebetulnya ya.
2 kali ya switch play, 2 kali crossing dari kiri, dan kembali ya center back tidak mengawasi dengan tepat De Catelere.
Ini adalah alarm untuk tuan rumah, karena kalau mereka tetap bermain tidak sesuai dengan standar mereka bisa mainkan, mereka juga akan tersingkir seperti tuan rumah yang lainnya.
Iya, artinya memang di jeda antar babak saat ini harus ada yang dilakukan oleh Pochettino untuk bisa merubah juga mentalitas dan cara permainan dari Amerika Serikat sendiri jika mereka tidak ingin terkalahkan di pertandingan kali ini begitu.
Waktunya tinggal 45 menit ya, mereka bisa membuat, tadi juga asisten kan bilang kita harus berusaha menyamakan kedudukan atau kemudian memenangkannya lewat perpanjangan waktu, dan yang harus diwaspadai adalah bagaimana Belgia sebenarnya sering dalam posisi yang terjepit lawan Mesir, lawan Iran mereka deadlock, kemudian lawan Senegal mereka tertinggal 2 gol, mereka bisa mengejar ketertinggalan. Ini sekarang mereka ada di dalam posisi di mana mereka unggul seperti halnya melawan New Zealand, Selandia Baru, dan biasanya mereka akan punya cara untuk bisa menjaga momentum untuk bisa mempertahankan keunggulan.
Iya, ada momentum yang bisa dijaga sementara Amerika Serikat bersama dengan Pochettino harus bisa memutar otak dengan situasi saat ini tertinggal, Bung Bes. Tekanan berada pada tuan rumah tentunya ya.
Ya, tekanan, ekspektasi yang tinggi. Mereka sudah mengatakan bahwa kelebihan dari Amerika Serikat adalah melakukan tekanan tinggi. Tapi jangan lupa, ketika mereka melakukan tekanan, maka di situ juga akan tercipta ruang untuk Belgia. Bukan tidak mungkin untuk menambah keunggulan.
Ya, ini yang harus bisa diselesaikan oleh Belgia, bukan hanya unggul, tapi kill the game ya. Hasil akhir yang akan sangat menentukan. Masih ada babak kedua, bagaimana mereka harus bisa mempertahankan permainan saat ini.
Ya, kalau kita lihat kan tadi saat mereka sudah unggul, mereka juga lebih menekan. Mereka kecolongan dengan situasi set piece tadi, tendangan bebas yang kemudian jadi gol yang menyamakan kedudukan. Ini mereka punya 45 menit babak kedua untuk bisa mempertahankan keunggulan itu. Kalau ngelihat pemain cadangan yang dimiliki Belgia kan mereka masih punya sejumlah pemain yang bisa mengatasi lini pertahanan. Artinya kalau kita lihat masih ada Thomas Meunier yang belum dimainkan, kemudian hal-hal seperti ini yang pasti akan menjadi pilihan. Bahkan kalau kita bicara Amad Onana sudah tidak ada, tapi Yuri Tielemans bisa mengamankan pertahanan sebagai DM dengan memasukkan Kevin De Bruyne misalnya. Tapi hal-hal seperti ini. Kemudian kalau kita bicara Amerika Serikat, tim WA, kemudian pasti akan ada usaha dari barisan depan. Tim WA masih ada di bangku cadangan, kemudian ada Haji Wright juga di bangku cadangan, Ricardo Pepi yang masih bisa. Karena kalau kita lihat Balogun juga belum menunjukkan hasil, belum ada bola-bola yang mengarah kepada dia.
Saya rasa memang kedua tim masih memiliki opsi ya, pilihannya di bangku cadangan kalau memang ingin merubah untuk jalannya babak yang kedua secara taktik. Dari Bung Bas sendiri ada pandangan mungkin atau pemain yang mungkin bisa dimainkan di babak kedua?
Ya, sebenarnya tidak perlu cari sampai ke bangku cadangan untuk Amerika Serikat karena masih ada pemain seperti Christian Pulisic yang tidak berhasil menunjukkan kemampuan terbaiknya pada hari ini. Harapannya setelah pergantian babak mendapatkan instruksi dari pelatih, kenapa tidak untuk bisa bermain lebih baik lagi. Tapi kalau ada yang harus masuk, ya salah satunya adalah Ricardo Pepi atau juga Timothy Weah. Karena keduanya mempunyai insting menyerang lebih baik dan juga sudah terbiasa bermain di level tinggi di Eropa.
Iya, kalau mempertahankan dengan nama-nama yang ada, kalau kita lihat di babak yang pertama untuk di babak yang kedua nanti, dari segi strategi mungkin apa yang harus dirubah, Bung Bes?
Dari segi yang harus diubah adalah mereka harus melakukan tekanan lebih tinggi sambil memperhatikan rest defense untuk Amerika Serikat, dan untuk Belgia mereka harus bermain lebih sabar dan melihat ruang untuk serangan balik. Pemain-pemain seperti Jeremy Doku bisa jadi opsi karena dia punya kecepatan, karena sepertinya babak kedua Amerika akan mempush lebih tinggi dan juga menaikkan line defensif, dan disitulah akan ada ruang untuk memberikan bola-bola umpan terobosan.
Ya, karena yang akan sangat menentukan adalah bagaimana respon mereka dengan situasi saat ini tertinggal.
Ya. Kalau kita lihat babak pertama tadi, 2 gol yang datang bagi Belgia itu datang dari switch play. Switch play cepat yang kemudian membuat mereka bisa menjebak pertahanan Amerika Serikat. Amerika Serikat kalau lihat catatan switch play mereka 0 yang mereka lakukan di babak pertama. Artinya mereka tidak cepat untuk mengubah main dari kiri ke kanan. Main itu selalu kalau kita lihat Sergio Dest yang melakukannya. Tidak ada dari sisi Christian Pulisic. Itu tadi yang Bes bilang bahwa Christian Pulisic harus meningkatkan permainannya karena dia punya kemampuan untuk itu.
Ya, kita kembali tentunya untuk melihat bagaimana pertandingan nantinya akan terjadi di jalannya babak yang kedua di Stadion Seattle saat ini. Skor
ada juga yang menarik di babak pertama, yaitu tidak adanya crossing yang dilakukan oleh Amerika Serikat yang akurat terhadap Balogun. Makanya Balogun juga kita seperti lihat tidak terlalu terlihat pada pertandingan kali ini. Mungkin servis dari fullback, wingback yang biasanya melakukan crossing atau cutback atau early cross tidak terlihat pada pertandingan kali ini.
Dibandingkan dengan Belgia yang ada 4 kali cross yang mereka lakukan sepanjang babak pertama.
Ini yang saya sukai. Berekspresi, membawa pesan yang positif. Kalau panas dalam, bantu redakan dengan yang ada badannya.
Ya, kita akan langsung lihat respon seperti apa yang akan dilakukan oleh sang tuan rumah Amerika Serikat untuk menatap jalannya pertandingan di babak yang kedua yang akan langsung kami hadirkan untuk Anda. Amerika Serikat berhadapan dengan Belgia langsung dari Seattle Stadium. Dari studio kami ucapkan selamat menyaksikan.
There is a change in personnel to discuss at the start of the second half. Serginho Dest is being replaced here by the United States. And it's Gio Reyna who is going to be his replacement. He scored a beauty in the 4-1 demolition of Paraguay on match day 1 for the United States of America. Outside of the boot, caressing it home. Let's see what he can do. In the second half, his country certainly need a lift. As we start the second half, an American response is required. Then again, more Belgian attacks are likely, as 7 of their 11 World Cup goals at this tournament have come in the second halves of games, and 1 of the other 4 coming in the second half of extra time. Was that very late Yuri Tielemans penalty.
Yeah, it's been an impressive first half by Belgium for sure, and it's not their so-called golden generation, but they are certainly playing like it at the moment.
Tielemans to Mechelen. 1 half-time change, Gio Reyna for Serginho Dest for the United States of America. Otherwise, in terms of personnel, it's as you were at the end of the first half. Of course, Belgium lost Amadou Onana in the first half to injury. Here's Trossard. Tielemans being hurried by Tillman, and indeed by Pulisic as well. Lukebakio winning it back. Robinson. Just couldn't settle it into the path of Pulisic. Pulisic, who started all 4 games at the last World Cup for the United States, scoring against Iran, providing a couple of assists along the way as well. They certainly need to see more from him in this second half. Tyler Adams trying to set it through for McKennie. Didn't quite fall for Pulisic. Lovely vision from Tyler Adams, though. Speaking to a Bournemouth fan the other day, who was saying how impressive he's been when fit for his club. Bournemouth with a terrific campaign, finishing 6th in the English Premier League, qualifying for European competition for the first time in their history.
Very impressive from Bournemouth. They incredibly well. A smaller club, obviously, in the Premier League, but much way above their weight in recent years.
Reyna, he will drift about, looking to cause problems. In from Robinson, Balogun on the stretch. McKennie rising with 2 from Belgium. Now Robinson. Adams. Tillman. USA enjoying having the ball at the start of the second half, and for a level Belgium happy that they have it, particularly there with Richards as it drifts over harmlessly away.
A little bit sloppy in the United States, which they have been for large parts of this game, but Reina is a good addition, I think, to the side, and what he can bring, he can also score goals when he needs to, so that's what the US will be looking from Gio Reina.
Tielemans on Tillman. Game allowed to go. De Ketelaere looking for Trossard, and Fries was quickly out to gather. Timry. Ali Tillman. McKennie. USA very much on the front foot as we start this second half. Freeman trying to bounce his way through. Reina hadn't given that up. Pulisic will chase down De Kuyper.
They have had a lot of possession, David, but they also have been quite in control, Belgium, defensively. Really well structured, solid back four, work well together, push up and down the pitch on command. Not giving the United States much of a look at goal yet.
Look back here. De Ketelaere in the middle. Others joining now as well. It's Tim Ream who sees it away, and it's a painful ending for both of them. Getting a little knotted up.
We said before the game that Ream and Richards were going to be tested in the center back position. I think they certainly have been. Looking back, has been absolutely dynamic at both ends of the field in the defensive areas. Also with his pace down the right-hand side has been a handful for the US.
Tielemans' corner. Richards met it emphatically. Lukavakio and Fries after that one. He's going to get his side going quickly. There weren't too many options forward, though. The United States of America came into this game today having won 3 of their 4 games at this World Cup. Their most wins at a World Cup finals. Also scored their most goals. Getting 10 before today. Scored 2 or more goals in all 4 of their World Cup matches in this edition. They'll need to do that again here today. Pulisic was just about to pull the trigger before Tielemans got there. Tillman unsure whether to carry on. The referee is happy to check on the welfare of Pulisic. These situations are tricky to judge, aren't they? Was it his ball? Was it Tielemans' ball? Let's have a look.
Yeah, let's have a look, as it was really close. My first look was it looked like it was a foul, but at the end of the day, he sort of kicked the back of Tielemans' heel. I think the referee's got that right. I think he has every right, Tielemans, to be in that position, and he was actually kicked. And it's also awkward, obviously, for Pulisic, but hopefully he'll be okay. He's a very important member of the squad, obviously.
Just managed to get himself between Pulisic and the ball there, Yuri Tielemans. No treatment administered, so he's carrying on the field. You can see the key players from a Belgian point of view in terms of creation, creativity. Robinson chasing that one down. Forward by Adams. That's a lovely ball. And Freeman couldn't quite take it with him.
Some warning signs for Belgium as the United States have pressed a little bit for a straight ball. Could have done much better. That his first touch let him down badly.
Reams header, picked up by Gio Reyna. Tillman. Pulisic desperately trying to run off that injury from moments ago.
Yeah, he's still limping for sure, Pulisic.
Adams. Tillman. Adams. Reyna scooping for Balogun. Just wouldn't settle for him, and it just crept out. Well, this game, whatever your vantage point, has certainly provided plenty of excitement and entertainment. And a fair bit of noise as well.
Castagne on this right-hand side for Belgium has been excellent too. Done some really good work defensively as well as getting in decent offensive positions as well.
Here's Reyna. Certainly an encouraging start to the second half from the co-hosts here, albeit without really hurting Belgium, who always possess that threat on the counter-attack. Christian Pulisic still doesn't look right.
Still trying to shake that off. That was potentially a dangerous situation for Pulisic, and he's just, they're going to give him some time, but be surprised and make some changes, and Vancouver Whitecap fans will like what they see if Berhalter makes his way onto the pitch, because he's been lively for them in MLS this season and a few seasons.
Oh, Matt Freese could be in trouble here. The US could be in trouble here. It's a shocker of a goal from the co-host's point of view. The situation looked under control until it wasn't. And maybe the next stage is within touching distance for Belgium now. A fair bit of promise at the start of the second half from the Americans, but that has vanished in an instant.
That is absolutely awful from the United States. Like you said, they had some pressure. They look as though they're creating some opportunities, and Matt Freese comes out and just makes an absolute mess of it. And then he's in no man's land. It's just about hitting the target. Tim Reams on the line, but he's got to get it past him, and he does actually quite well. Van Aken does very well, but look at Freese here. He dwells on the ball, and it's an absolute gift for Belgium to make it 3-1. Not the start the United States wanted in the second half. It's a tidy finish.
He's done a fair bit right for the United States in this tournament, Matt Freese. But that was a moment that went horribly wrong. Hans van Aken, the goal scorer, and it's the end for Christian Pulisic, who's unable to shake off the injury from moments ago. The door closes for him. And then opens for Sebastian Berhalter. A painful few moments for the United States in different ways.
Yeah, you're playing against a very good side that have their tails up in this match completely, and the last thing you can do is gift them with something. It's going to be a mountain to climb for the U.S., but can Berhalter make a change? Can Reina make a difference? Two quality players, in my opinion. Can they match the quality of Belgium? That's the question.
Unless something happens in the time that remains here, we're going to lose all three co-hosts in one fell swoop at this World Cup. The round of 16 already seeing the back of Canada and Mexico, and the United States of America now have a lot of work to do to stay in. Time is on their side, but moments like that just see the heads drop a little further.
Obviously losing that man is very important to this team, of course, and hopefully it's not a long-term injury for him. But the introduction of Berhalter is something that could be dangerous for the U.S. just the same. They're not out of this point yet.
Yes.
Richards for Freeman. Freeman again, this is Van Aken. One for De Ketelaere to chase with Tim Ream. You don't wish a moment like that on a goalkeeper at any level of the game, let alone when the world is watching.
Yeah, you can't afford mistakes as a goalkeeper, of course, and you don't want to just dig a big hole for himself. Everybody's been there at some stage in their career, but you don't want to be doing that in the last 16, of course.
Here's Ream, and now Freeman. And as much as the American fans might well be downhearted by this scoreline, what a boost that goal is to the Belgian cause. Richards. Reina left it for Balogun. Berhalter. And again for Adams. Robinson adding some pace to proceedings. Adams has rolled away from Berhalter, and now the counter to Ketelaere. Lends it to Trossard. And just tried to find the space, blocked by the combination of Adams and Richards. Football can be a painful game at times. So much optimism arriving here at the stadium today for those from the USA. They find themselves in a real spot of bother here. And defending a Belgian corner to boot. In for the Kuiper. Tillman clearing his lines. They'll go again, Belgium here. Berhalter away. United States ball, they're on with it quickly. Maybe a little too quickly for themselves. Richards. Robinson. Rayner takes for Balogun. Green. Belgium just shepherding the United States away from their goal.
Yeah, they're controlling the game with and without the ball. Everything's played in front of them. Unable to get the ball in wide positions. The United States unable to get the ball to the dangerous players. Balogun's had very little of the ball, very little service as of yet.
Here goes Freeman, who wins a USA corner. As Lukaku and Doku get their final instructions. Goes towards Freeman. Another set play that comes to nothing, and it promised much.
Here's the goal. Referee's deciding he was going to dwell on the ball, and Tim Ream does his best to clear it, but not to be. It's a real nail to the US's coffin here.
Here's De Ketelaere, who has got 2 goals and an assist really now, after getting the slightest of touches on that ball from Fries. Lukavakio just running out of steam. The Belgian changes just wait for a moment.
Doku will put the fear into the back line of the Americans. 2 fresh legs coming onto this stage of the game with his pace to get at them, and also with the finishing power. Obviously, Lukaku, 92 international goals to his career, has been an absolute machine for Belgium.
And so the players to be replaced. Dodi Lukavakio, it's the end of his first World Cup start. The way this is going, though, it looks like there will be a chance for another one in the future, and Charles De Ketelaere, he's going to depart as well.
Rudy Garcia trying to get the players off because the substitutions aren't happening quite quickly enough. They just about manage it.
And the withdrawal of Charles De Ketelaere means there's still no Belgian hat-trick scored at a World Cup finals. He had the potential to get a treble here, but no more. Romelu Lukaku, who scored more goals than anyone wearing the international colours of Belgium, comes on looking to add to his 92 international goals. The previous Belgian record, by the way, was 30, which he smashed and has since been passed by Eden Hazard and Kevin De Bruyne as well. Far and away, Belgium's top ever marksman. Cut out by the Kuiper. This is Tielemans. And now Lukaku. Tillman taking out Tielemans. And a yellow card is flashed in his direction.
Yeah, Tillman's definitely late in that one. It wasn't even close. Pretty easy decision for the official. We have a hydration break.
We do. And Belgium have a 2-goal cushion going into it. Well, the European side would have been delighted had you suggested to them pre-match that the hydration break in the second half they'd be 3-1 to the good, and there would be precious few around the place here who would really be able to argue with their superiority.
Yeah, it's obviously been disappointing for the American fans in here with the on the front foot. You have to credit Belgium because obviously this is a really difficult situation. But it was a wake-up call, I think, against Senegal. They were very lucky. So like I said, they're playing with house money a little bit. They've grown into this tournament. And this is by far and away their best performance of this World Cup so far. They'll be looking to put this thing to bed, or at least hold on defensively and not allow the Americans any opportunities. Here's the 3-1 goal. Good work from Ketalara, who was excellent. 2 goals, like you said, and an assist there. That Priest wants to dig a hole and get in it. Awful situation for a goalkeeper, and not the best for a manager either.
Well, that goal from Hans van Aken, the goal scored from the longest distance in the FIFA World Cup 2026, 32 metres out. Matt Fries just found himself in no man's land, really unable to clear his lines, control it, do anything with it. Awful moments for a goalkeeper at any level, and it could prove really costly too.
Yeah, it makes it more difficult. Obviously, it's just 1 goal. The Americans are always in it, but that makes life obviously a lot more difficult for the USA.
Well, the United States preparing a change. Vedder is enjoying his day, if not perhaps the scoreline. There are plenty who are still having a good day out here in Seattle for sure.
Yeah, trying to liven them up with a little bit of Pearl Jam and Eddie Vedder in the house. They need a spark. Maybe that'll be it.
We will shortly see Ricardo Pepi, not quite yet. He is stripped and ready to go for the United States. Freeman for Balogun. Little touch for McKennie, who couldn't quite gather. Confirmation of the yellow card picked up by Mali Tillman after he clobbered Yuri Tielemans. And the change for the USA here, Tyler Adams making way for the more attacking Ricardo Pepi.
They have to start taking some chances, the Americans, at this stage, and leave themselves open at this point of the game. 20 minutes or so left. Something has to happen.
Balogun striding away from 2, but not number 3, who was Ngoy. It will, of course, be in the back of Belgium's minds as time ticks by that a few days ago here they were 2 goals behind and turned the game around to win. Maybe that was mentioned during the hydration break. Don't take anything for granted. Oh, here goes Lukaku, who was pestering Tim Ream. Belgian ball. American entrepreneur Jeff Bezos is in the appropriate attire. Pointing Balogun to the ball. They've kept the USA centre forward very quiet today, Belgium. Tillman. Pops up for Tielemans. Van Aken. Just waiting for the contact, which duly came from Tillman.
Clever play. I have to say that all over the park, Belgium's quality is just shown through today. The Americans have not been able to match it.
Just one of those moments where you're in a bit of a tight spot, praying for that contact from your opponent. Tillman took the bait. XG-wise, Belgium comfortable in the game, and goals-wise they are too. Looking to stretch away with Doku. Freeman got there in the nick of time. No corner.
That certainly looked like a mistake. Doku is correct.
It's one of those we saw earlier in the match. A corner can be turned into a goal kick, but a goal kick can't be changed into a corner via VAR. Belgium up to 12 goals now at these World Cup finals. Only France have scored more than they have. It's been a World Cup full of wonderful goals, some great stories, some underdogs who've given us plenty before bowing out. As it stands, it will be Belgium against Spain in the quarterfinals in Los Angeles in a few days' time, which gives us another fascinating contest to digest, if indeed it stays this way. Painful one here for Castagna.
Castagna has been brilliant, as I said before. He's had Robinson basically in his pocket all game. They've had no answers. Pochettino doesn't have any answers for what's going on at the moment. Castagna, who played one game at Euro 2020 for Belgium, sustained a double fracture of his right eye socket in a horrible collision. But he's well and truly made his mark at these World Cup finals. Making his mark on Malik Tillman there as well. Belgium throw in, despite the best efforts of Tillman. This really is a stunning place to take in football. View of the city, of the waterfront, and with the baseball stadium right next door. It's a terrific sporting feel to this neck of the woods. The law being laid down here. To say, I think the officials done a really good job managing this game so far. This has been the most difficult game for him, but they need a spark, and Berhalter was hoping to get him one. He's certainly capable. It's been absolutely electric in MLS. Trying to make the step up against a tough Belgium side, and there's his dad, former U.S. national team coach himself.
Yes, he became the first person to represent the USA at the World Cup as a player and a head coach. Greg Berhalter. 2 appearances in 2002 before leading them to the second round in 2022. The crowd are well and truly back in the game now.
Yeah, Berhalter sort of stirred him up, trying to get the crowd going and get a little more energy in the building. They certainly need it.
Lukaku. Pinged out towards Trossard. Face to face with Robinson, who emerges with it. Nicely done. There's a bit of room here for Pepe. And a bit of promise for the United States, perhaps. Which quickly disappears.
That's the story of the game for the United States. Everything quickly disappears. The openings get closed down so quickly. You don't want to leave Doku here one-on-one. That's, yeah, the United States want to double up on him.
10 minutes to play here. 10 minutes for Belgium to see out or to get stronger. 10 minutes for the USA to find a way to survive.
Kenny can play, he's got his arms wrapped around him. Doku feels that pressure. Textbook, really, from Doku.
Balogun, the slip from Mecca, the opportunity for the United States, and Thibaut Courtois stands strong in the moment.
Well, Belgium better liven up a little bit because the Americans do have a little bit more energy in this side, a little bit more balance, and that's a first decent look for Balogun to get one on target, and Courtois, that angle, and as experienced as he is, it's going to be a tough character to beat.
Balogun again, up against Merkele. Whizzed into the box and seen off by the Belgian centre-half, who's been in the wars today, but is sticking to his task. The belief is there, literally and metaphorically. Into the crowd it goes. Balogun is there, but so is Courtois, who watched it all the way into his grasp.
Belgium with everybody in the 18-yard box for that set piece. Here's a have a look at a very rare mistake by Belgium defensively. Balogun gets in on net, tough angle. Courtois absolutely perfectly set, great angles, stays up big, and is he ever big? 2 Premier League titles with Chelsea, 3 La Ligas with Real Madrid, and a couple Champions League. The guy's a born winner goalkeeper.
Shot from Balogun moments ago, the second attempt on target for the USA in the game in the 82nd minute, the other of course being the goal in the 17th minute from Malik Tillman. They need to offer more, they're trying to, as Robinson looks to make that his. And a sad sight, Onana clearly had a fair bit of medical assistance since he left the field.
Played his part too. before he left the field. He was playing really well. Obviously disappointing for him, and hopefully it's not a long-term injury, but I do have my doubts.
Tillman. Berhalter. Robinson. Belgium win it back. It's a USA ball. And they're in a rush, understandably. In from Robinson, away from Pepe and dealt with by De Kuyper, and then Doku can use those fresh legs against Freeman. Freeman seemingly got a touch to the ball, but Doku goes on, and Lukaku now trying to find a way through the forest of legs. Trossard thought about it, and Richards was in the way. So congested back there.
Trossard has been excellent too. His touch and ability to bring players into play and get around and get shots on net. Delivery for one of the goals was just brilliant as well. Top player.
Raskan. Away by Freeman. Tillman. Sharp challenge from Castagna. It was the landing, I think, for Tillman that was the painful part of that.
The referee played advantage, and then after that draws it back. Actually does get the foul at the end. Tim Ream has an awful lot to say to the referee. This was the time when we thought Belgium was going to be going out against Senegal 2-0 down, 2 goals down. Can the Americans do the same to return the favor?
It would be quite something, wouldn't it? It would be something in the Seattle water, perhaps, if it were to happen 2 games running here.
Well, it didn't look likely for Belgium, I got to be honest.
The fact that the United States are in the same position here just underlines how remarkable the comeback was from Belgium. 1 goal bred the confidence to go and get the other, and then it was anyone's game.
Doku is exactly what you need as a player that's coming on. He started against Senegal, but you have a man to come on with his pace and strength to hold the ball up. He's drawn several fouls since his introduction to this game.
We're going to see double changes for both sides in a moment. But for now, here's Tim Ream. Tillman beaten off the ball by Tielemans, who celebrates as if he scored a 4th. What a player he has been in this tournament and in his career. Time for some changes here. Leandro Trossard to make way here for Alexis Saelemaekers, who recently turned 27. He missed the 2022 World Cup through injury, so we'll enjoy the time he gets at this tournament. And we're also going to see Axel Witsel, who in coming on becomes the oldest Belgian player at a World Cup finals. 37-year-old who actually retired from international football in May of 2023, but has returned to the fold. This is his 4th World Cup finals, equaling the national record. So he may only get a few minutes here, but it's a big few minutes for him in a landmark sense.
Yes, it is, and he's been a good servant, obviously, to his nation, and to finish this off here, he's got some ability still at his age.
Tillman, nicely done for Robinson. Trying to tempt it into the middle for Balogun. No one was backing him up at the far post. Robinson. Afston and Wright poised to be introduced for the United States of America. We're going to play a minimum of 4 added minutes. Belgium 4 minutes away from the quarterfinals. Balogun left it, didn't realise he was leaving it for Salamakis. Doku. Taken down painfully. Told to get to his feet. Good challenge from Freeman. Now McKennie. Now Robinson. It has to happen now for the USA, if it's going to happen at all. In truth, it has rarely looked like happening for them today.
No, they've been outclassed, there's no question about that.
Robinson and Balogun will make their exits. Afston and Wright will have a matter of moments. They may not even see the ball. That falls for Lukaku, and he will find the net. He so often has his say, and he helps the Belgians make their way to the quarter-finals of the World Cup finals. A goal scored by Belgium, but in a sense created by the United States of America, who just haven't been able to be at the races today.
They really haven't. And they cough it up again in a really dangerous area. And Lukaku, who else? One chance, one goal. He did it against Senegal. He got that back in the match when he came on as a substitute. The guy is an absolute legend. And we give him that space of time. Just poorly given away, and then look at that, just a touch out of his feet. Doesn't have anything on his mind except that far corner, and he picks it out like he's done his whole career. Absolutely magical from Lukaku.
He has had such a frustrating season at club level with injury, but he's making up for lost time at the World Cup finals. tribute to Onana after his nasty-looking injury in the first half. The 93rd international goal for Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah, that's incredible. And 131 appearances.
Why not them? Why not Belgium? Belgian celebrations fill the Seattle air as the Red Devils roar into the quarterfinals. The round of 16 is where all three co-hosts leave the World Cup party. The American dream fizzles out, despite pockets of promise on the day and plenty to admire during their journey. But today they were outfought, outplayed, and they are out. The Belgians believe, and may well take some stopping. United States of America 1, Belgium 4.
Perjalanan tuan rumah harus terhenti di babak 16 besar. Amerika Serikat tumbang dengan skor akhir 1-4 dari Belgia yang tampil lebih efektif dan memastikan langkah mereka untuk lanjut ke babak berikutnya di Piala Dunia 2026. Full time analysis akan segera kami hadirkan untuk Anda. Ya pemirsa, Anda kembali bergabung bersama kami di Bola Gembira 2026 bersama dengan Vola Play, dan baru saja kita saksikan bersama pertandingan antara Amerika Serikat berhadapan dengan Belgia dengan kemenangan 4-1 untuk Belgia yang memastikan langkah mereka untuk ke fase berikutnya. Sementara Mas Gita, kalau kita lihat perjalanan manis dari tuan rumah Amerika Serikat harus terhenti dari Belgia yang memang kita lihat penampilannya begitu matang dan juga efektif sepanjang pertandingan.
Sebenarnya kalau ukurannya babak kedua Amerika Serikat lebih menguasai jalannya pertandingan.
Ya.
Akhirnya kalau kita lihat dari ball possession, tapi dari efektivitas itu milik Belgia. Hanya 2 shot on target dan dua-duanya jadi gol, walaupun gol pertama di babak kedua ini adalah kesalahan dari penjaga gawang Amerika Serikat.
Dari Bang Wes sendiri bagaimana melihat pertandingannya?
Ya, setuju dengan Bung Gita karena memang babak kedua praktis milik Amerika Serikat. Tapi ketika mereka ingin mendekat dengan papan skor malah makin menjauh dengan salah kiper yang mungkin dia akan ingat seumur hidupnya karena momen untuk kembali di pertandingan tidak banyak, dan ketika skor sudah 3-1 maka ini sudah menghukum dari Amerika Serikat.
Iya, satu kesalahan kecil yang akhirnya bisa dimanfaatkan dengan sangat baik ya oleh Belgia, menciptakan gol tambahan, serta juga ada Lukaku dari bangku cadangan kembali menciptakan gol untuk Belgia. Saya rasa ini gol terakhir yang manis untuk ditutup di pertandingan
gol
kali
ketiganya di Piala Dunia kali ini, dan kalau kita lihat ini kemenangan ke-7 Belgia. Artinya ini skornya marginnya sama dengan pertandingan persahabatan bulan Maret lalu, di mana kalah 2-5, sekarang 1-4. Dan akhirnya Lukaku memberikan luka pada Amerika Serikat.
Nah, ya kita akan lihat ya bagaimana luka yang diberikan kepada Amerika Serikat. Tapi sebelum itu kita lihat dulu bagaimana momen-momen yang terjadi serta gol yang tercipta di jalannya babak yang pertama. Memang diawali gol cepat terlebih dahulu ya dari Belgia di awal pertandingan babak pertama tadi, Bung Bes.
Ya, betul sekali karena memang Charles de Ketelaere berhasil mencetak gol, 2 gol bahkan untuk membuka skor. Sempat dikecilkan oleh Amerika Serikat, namun pada babak kedua Amerika Serikat tidak mampu memberikan pengawalan yang berarti.
Iya, hanya ada 1 gol tunggal ya dari Tillman di jalannya babak pertama bagi Amerika. Selanjutnya di babak yang kedua mereka bisa menciptakan 2 gol bagi Belgia.
Ya, ini mungkin menariknya adalah Richard de Ketelaere, di mana dia tidak bikin gol sama sekali di 4 pertandingan pertama. Kemudian dia bikin gol di momen yang sangat di pertandingan yang menentukan untuk masuk ke 8 besar ini.
Sementara kita lihat ini adalah momen di mana kesalahan yang fatal sebetulnya, Bung Gita.
Ya, dan kalau kita lihat tim Realm juga tidak waspada juga ya, mungkin dengan bola yang dengan kecepatan yang tinggi sehingga dia gagal. Dan ini memang Lukaku aslinya.
Iya, ini dia ya.
Sekarang artinya Lukaku sudah mencetak 3 gol sama dengan Cristiano Ronaldo yang pulang hari ini. Tapi Lukaku masih ada pertandingan di beberapa hari ke depan, jadi masih bisa untuk melewati angka tersebut.
Tidak perlu bermain dari awal, tapi kita lihat ya bagaimana peran dari Lukaku dan insting mencetak gol yang memang tetap jadi senjata utama dari Lukaku sendiri. Kita lihat bagaimana statistik yang terjadi pada pertandingan kali ini. Sebetulnya kalau dari angka-angka ini semuanya masih dimiliki ya, dominasi dari Belgia sendiri, Bung Bes.
Ya, khususnya di angka shoot dan shoot on target. Memang penguasaan bola dikuasai oleh Amerika Serikat, cuman penguasaan bola bukan segalanya.
Betul.
Possession is not just for possession, tapi juga untuk menciptakan peluang. Dan kita lihat peluang yang dimiliki oleh Belgia jauh lebih efektif, jauh lebih baik dengan 7 shoot on target dan 4 diantaranya berhasil menjadi gol.
Iya, saya rasa memang ball position tidak terlalu berpengaruh ya ketika memang hasilnya Belgia saat ini yang jauh unggul.
Expected goal juga Belgia sampai 2,11, hanya 0,26 kembali dari Amerika Serikat. Artinya praktis mereka menguasai jalannya pertandingan, menguasai bola, tapi tidak membuka peluang bagi mereka untuk memperkecil ketinggalan.
Iya, kita akan lihat juga tentunya siapakah yang harus dinobatkan sebagai man of the match dalam pertandingan Amerika Serikat menghadapi Belgia. Mungkin kita akan lihat di layar, ini dia pemain yang sudah menciptakan brace di pertandingan kali ini, Mas Gita.
Iya, kalau 3 shot, 2 gol. Pertandingan di babak pertama, walaupun dia ditarik keluar tadi di menjelang akhir babak kedua, 8,5 ratingnya, saya pikir dia pantas.
Ya, ini adalah pemain yang memang perannya sangat vital bagi Belgia. 2 gol sudah diciptakan. Bagaimana Bung Bes melihatnya?
Setuju juga karena dia berhasil menggeser seorang Romelu Lukaku ke bangku cadangan, berbagi peran, dan Lukaku menerima peran itu. 2 gol untuk Charles de Ketelaere. Musim ini bukan musim yang mudah bagi dia di Atalanta. 30 sekian pertandingan hanya 3 gol, dan hari ini dia berhasil mencetak 2 gol. 1 gol lagi maka akan mencapai sama dengan rekor di klub.
Ada pembuktian tersendiri artinya ya di pertandingan kali ini. Sementara kita juga akan lihat map road to final dengan kemenangan Belgia saat ini atas Amerika. Artinya Belgia akan melaju ke fase berikutnya dan akan berjumpa dengan tim favorit untuk menjadi juara di 2026 ini adalah Spanyol.
Iya, Spanyol akan berhadapan dengan Belgia, kemudian Perancis akan berhadapan dengan Maroko,
Maroko.
dan pemenangnya akan bertemu di semifinal. Ini yang menariknya adalah 16 besar ini akhir dari 3 tuan rumah.
Yes, betul.
Memang ini gambaran Piala Dunia juga ya, nggak gampang untuk melewati fase-fase seperti ini.
Walaupun sebagai tuan rumah ya Bung
Iya.
Gita ya, tapi tetap ini adalah pertandingan yang sangat kompetitif kalau kita lihat Bung Bes.
Ya, kita lihat juga di bracket ini sudah ada 5 negara dari Eropa yang lolos ke babak selanjutnya dan 1 dari Afrika, dan besok mungkin saja ada tambahan 1 negara Eropa juga yang kembali lolos, tidak menutup kemungkinan. Ini artinya bahwa dominasi Eropa masih cukup mendominasi di sepak bola dunia.
Iya.
Jadi artinya 6 Amerika, 1 Eropa, 6 Eropa, 1 Afrika, 1 Amerika Latin gitu.
Ya, kita akan saksikan dan kita kawal terus pertandingannya. Pokoknya sampai final Anda bisa menyaksikan semua pertandingannya hanya di Vola Play. Termasuk pertandingan yang akan nanti malam dihadirkan. Ini Argentina akan berhadapan dengan Mesir, pemirsa. Jangan lupa di hari Selasa 7 Juli 2026 pukul 23.00 waktu Indonesia bagian Barat. Argentina menghadapi Mesir, ini juga akan jadi satu tontonan yang sangat menarik Bung Gita.
Kalau kita bicara Mbappe sudah ada di 8 besar.
Ya.
Haaland sudah ada di 8 besar, Lamine Yamal sudah ada di 8 besar. Ini 3 anak muda yang kabarnya akan menjadi fenomena ke depannya. Sekarang Ronaldo sudah hilang,
Betul.
Messi hilang atau stay. Ya,
Nah, Bung Bes ada pandangan lain mungkin?
Saya rasa Argentina tidak ingin mengulang kesalahan minggu lalu ketika berhadapan dengan Cape Verde, memberikan mereka ruang dan akhirnya berhasil menyamakan kedudukan. Tapi saya rasa Mesir memberikan tantangan yang berbeda. Mereka masih punya sosok bintang mereka sendiri, Mo Salah. Dan juga ini akan kita lihat besok apakah Mo Salah bisa memberikan perlawanan pada tim nasional Argentina.
Patut kita saksikan dan nantikan pertandingannya ya. Kalau gitu saya ucapkan terima kasih banyak untuk Bung Gita Suwondo, Bung Bes juga terima kasih banyak. Kita jumpa lagi di pertandingan lainnya, dan pemirsa semua, berakhir sudah pertandingan di pagi hari ini. Amerika Serikat berhadapan dengan Belgia, dimenangkan oleh Belgia dengan hasil akhir 4-1. Akhir kata, saya Natasha Germania mewakili tim yang bertugas pamit undur diri. Sampai jumpa di pertandingan lainnya di Bola Gembira 2026 bersama dengan Vola Play, dan salam Vola Play Sport. Selamat pagi, bye-bye.
Bentar,